There was a passenger disturbance on a JetBlue flight just this past week that resulted in a diversion. When you hear what happened with this passenger, you're going to think, what's the big deal? It's a huge deal, and I'll explain.
New York, JetBlue 1191.
Yeah, go ahead.
Due to a customer disturbance, we'll be returning to Boston, requesting diversion to Boston.
Okay, so the main player in this is JetBlue 1191. It's an Airbus 321. They're out of Boston. They're headed to their destination. They're going to return back to Boston. He's just told us now that they've had a passenger or a customer disturbance. What is that disturbance? Let's listen.
JetBlue 1191, you're diverting to Boston?
Affirmative, requesting direct Boston, back to Boston.
JetBlue 1191, you have an emergency?
Negative at this time. We did have a customer disturbance.
Okay, so he's not declaring an emergency just yet, but he keeps saying they have a customer disturbance, but he's not saying exactly what that disturbance is. When you hear what it is, you're going to scratch your head and go, why is that a big deal? All right, I'll explain.
A customer disturbance, JetBlue 1191. Roger, descend and maintain, flight level 300, I'll have your turn shortly.
All right, 300, JetBlue 1191.
JetBlue 1191, send maintain, I'm in the altitude maintain, flight level 310.
310, JetBlue 1191.
All right, so they've started their descent. They're going to start a turn back now to
JetBlue
Boston.
1191, out of flight level 330, turn left, fly heading of 190.
Out of 330, turn left heading 190, JetBlue 1191.
All right, it's all stuff they've got to do to get turned around and go back to Boston. They've got to avoid New York.
To Boston Airport via radar vectors, fly heading of 140.
I clear to Boston via radar vectors 140, JetBlue 1191.
We still haven't heard what the problem is yet. What is it?
JetBlue 1191, amendment to the route. Roger, ready, copy.
Ready to copy, JetBlue 1191.
Okay.
JetBlue 1191, cleared direct to JFK and join the Roebuck 3 arrival to Boston.
All right, direct to Kennedy, Roebuck 3, JetBlue 1191.
All right, so this crew is busy.
JetBlue 1191, I just have some questions. Is the cockpit secure right now?
Okay, so he's got some questions, and here they come. It always happens, especially when you either declare an emergency or, like in this case, a quasi-emergency. He hasn't said the words Mayday yet or even pan, but he said there's a customer disturbance. So they've got to fill out all the paperwork and find out why are they diverting this aircraft back to Boston. Now the details are going to begin to trickle out, and here's where you're going to find out why did they divert exactly, and why is that a big deal? Listen.
Hey, from cockpit secure, we had a customer vape in the lab, and smoking marijuana in the lab, which would like to return to Boston.
Okay. Smoking marijuana in the lab. That's what happened with this passenger. Now, your first response might be, well, isn't that legal in a lot of places? Well, yeah, it is. Not on airplanes. All right. And so you're in federal territory when you're on an airplane, and federal law prohibits the use of marijuana. It's still illegal. It's according to federal law. Now, this isn't just a legal thing. This has many more ramifications than that, especially to the crew and their livelihood. I'll tell you a story here in a minute of something that happened to me years ago that's similar, but let's listen in.
JetBlue 1191, roger.
All right.
And New York, JetBlue 1191. We'd like to burn some fuel. We get a lower altitude. That'd be appreciated.
JetBlue 1191, send maintain flight level 290.
290, JetBlue 1191.
All right, so this crew is really busy. Not only have they been dealing with this passenger disturbance of whoever it was in the lab that's been smoking marijuana, and it has a very distinct smell, as you know, and everybody is now alerted to that. They've taken the passenger, put him back in his seat, and they're starting the diversion back. So now they got to communicate with their own dispatch and tell them what they're going to do. They're now overweight, so they've got to run the overweight checklist. They're now diverting, so they have to do the precautionary landing checklist. They have to talk back and forth with the flight attendants in the back of the airplane to make sure that everybody's okay and they've got the situation secured. Meanwhile, they're putting the Roebuck arrival back into Boston. Everything is really busy, and they're overweight, so they want to get down as far as they can to burn as much fuel as they can, so they're not more overweight than they need to be. All right. So these guys are really, really busy. Now they're going to get barraged with questions, but there's a lot more to come, and there's more ramifications here of this incident with this passenger.
And we'll take as well as we can get JetBlue 1191.
Roger.
Okay. We'll be right back, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. You know, flying used to be the only part of travel where I actually felt secure. Up in the air, radios, procedures, training. But the moment you land and hop on public Wi-Fi in the terminal or at a coffee shop, it's basically the wild, wild west. That's why I use NordVPN, the fastest and most reliable VPN out there. NordVPN encrypts your internet connection, so your data is actually protected, not floating out in the open for anyone to grab. If you're checking email, logging into the bank, booking flights, or just scrolling TikTok on airport Wi-Fi, NordVPN keeps your information safe. And the best part, you don't even notice it's on. NordVPN is incredibly fast with thousands of servers around the world, which means streaming, downloading, and browsing works exactly the same, just secure. Plus, NordVPN has threat protection. It blocks trackers, malicious sites, and even prevents harmful downloads. It's like having a co-pilot for your digital life. And if you travel internationally, NordVPN lets you connect to your home region so you can access content just like you're back in the US. No restrictions, no weird regional blocks. So if you want to protect your data and browse privately, go to nordvpn.com/Steeeve and you'll get a huge discount on a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months for free. And it's completely risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Stay safe in the sky and stay safe online. Head to nordvpn.com/Steeeve. And thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. Sponsors like this help us to make more content for you. So here they come. They're pointed in the right direction now.
Direct to the news and descend and maintain flight level 230, close. I can go for you.
All right, that sounds good. Direct news, 230, JetBlue 1191.
Okay, what's the magic of flight level 230? That's the dividing line between approach control and center. So center can only descend you to 230. Below that, he's going to hand you off to approach. They're not close enough yet for that. So he's going to get him down to 23,000 feet so he can stay on center's radar screen. All right, little fast forward action here as they head towards Boston.
Hey, Boston, JetBlue 1191, flight level 230, 290 indicated.
Okay.
JetBlue 1191, Boston Center, descend and maintain flight level 210. 210, JetBlue 1191.
All right, now they're going to begin to descend and get down into approach
We'll be planning an
airspace.
overweight landing. We'll declare the emergency at this time.
All right, now they're going to declare an emergency. Probably should have said Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. That's the proper ICAO nomenclature. Here in the U.S., if you say emergency, they know what you mean.
JetBlue 1191, did you say you are going to be an overweight landing? Hey, firm, just ran the numbers, planning an overweight landing, JetBlue 1191. JetBlue 1191, roger, numbers, you are declaring at this time. Hey, firm, got the info for you right here.
Why is the overweight landing such a big deal? Because the airplane can land at any gross weight, so why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because as you land heavy, you're going to get on the brakes to stop the aircraft before the end of the runway, and that tends to overheat the brakes. So the fire crews want to know that because the fire truck's going to follow you down that runway. Because there's been so many overweight landings where the tires actually deflated because they overheated and they actually caused secondary fires. So they want to be right there on top of it. So that's exactly why he's asking all these questions. On the way into Boston.
JetBlue 1191, clear direct Provy, and go ahead with the information. All right, direct Provy, JetBlue 1191, 208 souls on board, fuel remaining 28.1.
Should say it in thousands of pounds. 28.1 is confusing.
It was 208, and the fuel again? 28.0 now, JetBlue 1191. 28.0.
Okay, it sounds like a radio frequency. Should say 28,000 pounds.
JetBlue 1191, but this is the nature, is it just the overweight landing?
For JetBlue 1191, yeah, we
Different
had a
voice,
security issue on, with a passenger, mostly a disturbance. They were smoking marijuana. Our crew inhaled it, and now we're overweight landing. So that's the main reason for the emergency.
Okay, so now he gives you more amplifying information. There was a passenger in the LAV that was smoking marijuana. Their crew is going to smell that. They're going to knock on the door. They're going to open the door. You can open the door from the outside. That's a little secret. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but you can open the door from the outside. They go in to the person that's smoking the marijuana. They confront the situation, but I'm thinking that this bathroom was filled to the brim with smoke, all right? Think of your worst Cheech and Chong movie, okay? And the smoke all starts coming out, and the crew now inhales it. Why is that a big deal? Is it because they're going to get stoned and start acting strangely? No. They may get randomly drug tested at any point in their career, anytime. And so their jobs and their livelihood and even jail time is in jeopardy, because if they test positive when they land in Boston or land at the other destination, wherever they were headed, they could absolutely lose their job and they could end up in jail. There's no trying to explain that away. Well, if you said there was a passenger smoking marijuana in the lab, and that's why I tested positive. Nobody's gonna, they're not gonna get, there's no grace for that. So they're headed back. They're declaring an emergency. The crew is most likely going to go get drug tested, or they're going to make sure they do all their due diligence to make sure that they don't and that they're off the schedule. The pilots are taking this very seriously. Now, something similar to this happened to me years ago. Now, I want to tell you why they take things like this so seriously. Well, it's not just the marijuana part. It's just not the illegality part of it. The bigger part is the impact it has potentially for the crew and their livelihood. Years ago, I was walking down the jet bridge to go to a flight, and a passenger made a joke. And there was a bunch of other people standing around, and this passenger said something along the lines of, "Well, I hope you haven't been drinking today. There's been so many stories about drunk pilots in the news." And as soon as he said that, it was timeout. I was like, oh, man, why did you say that? And there's other people standing around, and they all turn and they look at me. Now, that sets a chain reaction in motion. As soon as somebody makes a really poor joke like that, they're accusing me of drinking. I've now got to go get drug tested. And so I said to the guy, "You shouldn't have said that." And he made another joke to kind of double down on it. And I said, "Stop talking." I said, "What's your name? What seat number are you in?" He showed me his ticket. We had to go back out to the agent. We had that guy pulled off the flight. And then I got pulled off the flight. And I went down and I got drug tested to make sure that I wasn't drinking, and just to make sure that the due diligence was done, so that I really kind of covered my 6 on that one. Now, you can't make a joke at TSA about certain things, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you do, you'll get pulled out. You might spend a night in the box. You might spend a month or more with legal problems headed your way. So there's certain things that you should never say, certain jokes that you should not make to the pilot. Be careful about that. This guy now really steps on it because he's been smoking marijuana in the cockpit, or not in the cockpit, excuse me, in the lab. And the smell of it now is going throughout the aircraft, and everybody is concerned, and they're going to take him back and have him arrested. Here we go.
JetBlue 91, Roger. Any other assistance?
Need anything else? Well,
Roger, will do.
Yeah, probably have law enforcement there when we land.
JetBlue 1191, descend via Roebuck 3, runway 22 left.
Descend via Roebuck 322 left, JetBlue 1191.
All right, they're headed back in. It sounds like one of the pilots is on oxygen.
JetBlue 1191, just want to verify the 28.0 on the fuel. Is that in thousands of pounds?
Affirmative. 27,600 pounds now.
Yeah,
JetBlue
he should have said in
1191.
thousands of pounds. He didn't.
Roger.
All right. So they head back in. And they get lined up for the runway. They come around. So the full stop landing. They end up at the gate. This guy gets arrested right off the airplane. The local authorities cart him off. The crew now, most likely, I don't know this for sure, but the crew most likely is going to go down and either fill out paperwork, or they're going to request a drug test because of this, or they're going to somehow get some sort of an affidavit that says this is what happened on this is such date, and they're not held responsible for anything that might happen down the road. Right now, is this over the top? It might be a little bit, but you know what? There's got to be an abundance of caution at times where your livelihood or jail time might be in play. If I get arrested off a flight and I get drug tested and I test positive, If any pilot tests positive or any crew member tests positive, that's a crime. And so now they're going to face legal action. Not only are they going to lose their pay in their job, but they're going to face legal action. And that's just a domino effect that nobody wants to go through. So again, if you're thinking, you know what, you're going to go get on an airplane and you're going to get up to altitude and you want to get high, no pun intended, all right, think twice about that, because this guy's got a lot of money that's going to be coming out of his pocket real soon if he doesn't spend some jail time, and it sends everybody else into a tailspin. All those passengers are inconvenienced and the crew is pulled off the schedule. All of that from somebody that just wanted to go in to the bathroom and get stoned. Well, now you know. I'm Captain Steeve. Fly safe. So if you'd like to see some more videos about passengers behaving poorly on an airplane, check out one of these.